Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ask Us Anything. Today, we're sitting down with Sarah Davis from The Proven Companies, and we are talking all about product market fit and how to demystify everything around understanding product market fit and what it means to companies big and small. So here we go. Buckle up. Hey, Sarah. Thanks for joining me today. It's great to see you.
Hey, Wendy, it's good to see you too.
So product market fit, I'm just going to dive right in because I think that this is a really important topic that people should be talking about and learning as much as they can about it. And so tell us, how do you define product market fit? What is it and why is it such a big deal?
Yeah, so product market fit occurs when a company's product satisfies a strong market demand. And that is significant because it means that effectively that product is meeting the needs of its customers, and the company has done the work to know what that looks like, aka building the product around that. You can think of it like the green light showing you that you're on the right path. Your product is essentially what people need enough to pay for a solution for that specific problem. So that's what it is. Why is it important? Really is just around the overall health, growth, and resilience of a company. Because most companies, when they're being built, they are joining a competitive marketplace that already exists. There's not a lot of companies that are just naturally evolving into creating their own marketplace, which would be great. But we're joining very, very competitive marketplaces. And when I say overall health of a company and sustainability, I mean that product market fit supports business growth and things like customer satisfaction, customer retention, brand reputation, even down to like employee morale. Kind of circling back, it helps them maintain that competitive advantage in being in a crowded marketplace. And because markets naturally change, it helps them stay resilient in the face of those market changes. It gives them a better ability to fundraise if that's something that they need to do. I could keep going.
Is it, that's great. Is it something that only new companies need to worry about?
No. Oh my gosh, I'm glad you said that. So, the ideal time for a company to start thinking about product market fit and working towards it is at the beginning of the concept of a company, when before they build a product. But it's something that is ongoing, and that's actually a pretty big misconception about product market fit. Is that it's like a one-time thing, when in reality it's ongoing, and it is something that people and leaders, companies should be doing throughout the life of the business that they've created.
Is it something that even like Fortune 500 need to be thinking about? They're very well established, they're market leaders. Do they even care that they still have product market fit?
Absolutely. They still have customers that are using their products. They still have, potentially they have investors. They still have board members. They still have people that they are responsible to for answering whether or not folks are using their products, and not just using them, but are satisfied using their products and will continue to use them. So yes, even the largest companies should be thinking about product market fit always, and talking to their customers to make sure they're on the right track.
Interesting. So if it's a misconception that just new companies or a company that's just coming onto the market or starting to build need to be focused on product market fit, what are some other misconceptions that maybe we're not thinking about?
Yeah. So one of the most common ones that I hear is that it should be this like sudden moment of like aha, or like this clear realization, like, oh, I found product market fit. But the truth is, like, product market fit is pretty gradual. It's not something that you just wake up one morning and all of a sudden you've realized. It's something that you wake up one morning and all of a sudden you realize all of the work that you've done and you've put into it, through analysis of customer feedback and looking at market trends and looking at everything that already exists, has come to fruition. So it's more about noticing a consistent pattern of positive market response than experiencing this like eureka or aha kind of moment.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mentioned before that, it's not something that happens one time, like it's achieved and then you move on. It's definitely not static. So markets evolve, customer preferences change. So as I mentioned before, that continuous, being able to continuously adapt and reassess is necessary to maintain product market fit. Some other ones that I hear are product market fit equals widespread adoption. So that doesn't necessarily, like widespread adoption doesn't necessarily mean that, I'm trying to think of how to describe this now. So product market fit doesn't necessarily mean a product appeals to everybody. It's more about like having it deeply resonate in a specific target, or niche. So it's more like, instead of going wide, it's more about going deeper and like really making sure that the needs and the wants of this particular group of people that are going to pay to use the product that you're selling. What else?
Makes sense.
Um,
How do companies go about assessing if they have product market fit? Is it just a survey? What does this look like in practical terms?
It looks a little bit different for each company, depending on the size they are, the stage that they're in, and more than anything, who they're selling to. So if you're doing, in a B2B company, you need to be able to understand the nuances of why a company would pay for a product is probably a lot more nuanced than why a consumer would pay to use a product. So, when you're thinking about like a B2C connection, you might need to talk to 100 people, but when you're talking to companies, it's going to be a lot more like in detail and tailored to that specific type of group of people. And typically it involves one-on-one conversations, through more qualitative research, do quantitative research as well, kind of getting like a feel for like a more mass amount of folks. But the ultimate key to all of it is just that it is learning directly from the folks, whether that is a business or a consumer, that you think have the problem that you're solving, will feel that need, feel that problem quite deeply. And then also the most important thing to remember is will pay to use what it is that you're building. So keeping a relationship with those folks is so important.
So if I were starting an athletic wear company, I would obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, want to show my product, maybe some concepts of products to potential consumers who would maybe buy my product online or in my retail store, get their feedback on the price point, on quality, all these kinds of things, and then have them validate my plan that it is a great product and they want to pay a decent amount of money for it.
Right. So that is pretty spot on. There's one thing that I didn't hear when you were talking about that though. And it's obviously, and that is a competitive marketplace for sure. It's what is missing, what is not being solved. Like, what are they missing currently with everything else that exists in athletic wear that's not being solved? And then why would they pay for that? And so maybe that's where you kind of focus and like what differentiates you, because it's really important to stand out. And what makes you stand out in a crowded marketplace is if you're doing something that other people aren't.
Amazing. So I think maybe my last question would then kind of dovetail into that. So how do companies pivot if they haven't achieved product market fit? They go through this process and they realize that they're way off the mark. What do they do?
So I want to make sure before I answer this question that I address that like pivoting is not any way sign of failure, but it's more of a strategic response to market feedback. So obviously, if you're thinking about pivoting, if you're thinking about re-strategizing or reformatting how you are presenting what it is you're selling to the market, like something's not working. And to do that, to pivot, it requires agility, it requires a willingness to learn. and a commitment to like taking in what you're learning and actually putting that into the product. So ultimately successful pivots like lead to a stronger product market fit and, better long-term success. But, I would start with going back to learning and talking to your customers, collecting detailed feedback from users, from customers, and just in general market research. So if maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's that your customers aren't really necessarily in the market that you should be focusing on. So understanding like what it is that's just not landing, like what's not working, assessing the strengths and weaknesses of like what's going on with why it's not working, exploring maybe new market segments or undiscovered market needs. Again, going back to talking to those customers or folks within that market. It could be adjusting the business model, rethinking your offerings and products, and then ultimately taking what you learn and testing that. So to make sure that you do feel like you're more on the right path through that pivot to achieving product market fit. It could be a really small change that you learn that makes a ton of difference.
I love that. Any final thoughts before we wrap up for today?
Yeah, I want to say one more thing about, I think one thing that I see happen a lot is that companies, when they have a lack of immediate success, that they think that implies that they don't have product market fit. In reality, if a product doesn't have immediate success, I want companies, I want founders, I want teams to understand that it takes time. It takes time to iterate and develop. And that initial lack of success does not necessarily mean that the product or the company will not achieve product market fit. Amazing.
Well, I have one final ask. If you will just tell us where people can find you, if they want to follow up and have any questions, just tell us the best way to get in touch with you.
Yeah, so my name is Sarah Davis. I am the CEO and the co-founder of Proven Companies. You can find us at our website at letsproveit.io, and my email address is sarah@letsproveit.io, and would love to answer any questions. You can also find me on LinkedIn about product market fit or anything else startup and entrepreneurship related.
Amazing. Thank you, Sarah, so much. I really, really, really appreciate your time today and letting us just kind of explore product market fit and what it means.
It's so fun. I could talk about this forever.
Love it. We'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thanks.